Hey, what is up and what is down and what is all around, my friends? In today's video, we're going to be checking out this dude, ThreeZero's Lion Voltron. Really, really cool. And we're going to be comparing him against the Solar Chogokin version and also the Blitzway version. But if you don't have a ton of time, I will just TLDR it for you right now. The ThreeZero version of Voltron is incredible. It is really, really nice. Adds some modern twists and flares that you see in the Blitzway version. But in terms of its comparison to the Solar Chogokin, I don't know if it's really worth replacing the SOC guy with him. I really, really don't. There's some things that he does well, and there's some things that he doesn't. And it's a mixed bag. And so, while I do think it's a phenomenal, phenomenal piece, and especially if you don't own any Masterpiece Voltrons, if you own the Blitzway or the Solo Chogokin version, I don't think it's necessary to replace what you have at home. But nonetheless, check out the video, see for yourself, and you'll kind of see what I mean when I say that this guy is pretty much really just a Solo Chogokin version with some upgrades that you see from the Blitzway version and minus some diecast and stuff like that. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Well, actually, you're going to still watch the video, hopefully. But stick around. Hope you like the video, and have a great day, okay? You know what? We can do the whole unboxing thing later. I know people are interested in this the most, so I'll start with the comparisons. This over here, this is our birthday boy. This is the ThreeZero version, and it's really, really, really nice. This is the previous reigning heavyweight. This is the Sola Chogokin version, and I still think it holds up. I think it stands the test of time, and it's still really, really nice. And this guy over here, we can't really get him in the shot. This is the Blitzway version. Yeah, he's kind of like the new kid on the block, doing a lot of things right. And I'll say this guy, the ThreeZero version, is probably like a hybrid of this and this. One of the things that you can see immediately, so if you look at the SOC version, you see that the lion's legs are just kind of like bare. They're just kind of chilling there. But if you look at the Blitzway version, they've kind of gone out of their way to put these like flappity flap things over here that cover the lion arms. And you can see that he's done the same. And so there are a lot of wonderful things about this. And I feel like they took those, incorporated it, and perhaps saw a couple of things that the Blitzway version did. That's my guess. I'm not really sure who came out first, but yeah. Also, he is considerably lighter than him. Like on him, a lot of the legs and stuff, they're all like done in metal, especially these over here. I'm not sure about these, but I know these are. He doesn't have any of that. They're all made of plastic, and it's like a silver paint versus like die cast. Doesn't take away from it, actually. Almost enhances it, because one of the things about this guy, while he is great and while he is very heavy, sometimes I'm worried about the legs kind of wanting to collapse in on themselves, like the joints not being able to hold it up. You're not going to get too much issues with this guy because he still has metal, but a lot of it is just plastic, and the joints hold it up a lot better. This guy is very heavy. Yeah, very, very hefty, but the joints hold up and everything. And so, yeah. So, but yeah, just kind of making a general remark on their weights, on their weight. One of the things that I notice also differently is the way they do the belts. So that's how he does it. That's how he does it. And that's how he does it. Not too different, but yeah, in terms of like some of the line work and stuff like that, yeah, that is a bit different. We could take a look at their backs. Give me 1 second. All right, here's how the backs look. Really, really cool stuff over here. See some of that hollow indentation? They have the same thing going on, but they created a mechanism. There's a little spring thing that fills it out, so that's pretty cool. But the way it connects in terms of having these flaps, a front connector and a rear connector, it's very similar to how they've done it. Same thing with the heel spurs and stuff. And so if we're talking like in video game speech, the ThreeZero version resembles the SOC version, but with like a new game patch, so to speak. Even the way their heads look on the back is very, very similar, and that is quite dissimilar from the Blitzway version. In the Blitzway version, it's similar, but different. Like you see, there's kind of like the T formation on the hips, while he has more of a V formation. And the tail, his tidies up. This guy's likes to pop off like a lot. This one doesn't, but yeah, this one just likes to pop off. And again, all of these joints and stuff done in metal over here, but you can also see that the heel spurs are quite different. Whereas these guys, there's a lot of similarity over here. But again, all of them are just very, very, very nice, and I'm pleased to be in the possession of all three of these guys. We can check out the individual lions. We can start comparing those as well. Okay, let's take a look at the blue lion. And first, really quick, I was going to say a couple of things. One, Dude, this thing while I was transforming just like popped off, and it looks like it needs to be glued back, and I'm kind of disappointed that, yeah, it's like that. That's really unfortunate on such a high quality toy that this would just kind of happen, but it is what it is. And also earlier I said the legs were not on die cast. I stand corrected. They are on die cast. The toes don't appear to be on die cast, but I don't know, it's just not as shiny and chrome as some of the other guys over here. You can see the Blitzways is like super duper crispy. And that one has, I don't know if it's just die cast or there's like a sheen of paint on top. And then we can see this one is pretty chromy and shiny as well. But yeah, it's been many, many years. So there's been a little bit of, not dirt, but I do think I need to clean up the chrome. But yeah, and the more and more I look at it, yeah, dude, I'm very, very convinced that the Blitzway version is a remixed, upgraded, patched version of the Soul of Chogokin. They're just very, very, very similar. Like all the same things. I'm just going to move the Blitzway one out of the way because I think it's more of a fair comparison looking at these two. They have all the same range of motion, like this kind of bendy thing, this arch thing going on over here. And then the way this like back flap works to cover up that connecting port, everything is done identically. The Soul of Chogo can really kind of like set the pace and set the standard, and they just followed in suit. The way this works, the way they release it, everything is identical. In terms of like the gimmick, like this thing, yeah, it's all identical on this guy too. The Blitzway one also does that, but hey. Okay. The Blitzway one also does that, but I think the Blitzway one also has some area where you could put the pilot or something, but I could be tripping. But yeah, the one area that they have changed is this thing. And that's very similar to the way the Blitzway one works. That you have that like covering that hides the leg in a combined mode. And I think they do a better job in terms of making this like a little bit like thicker. Like when you see the legs just pop up over here, like that just looks like really, really thin. And you see what I'm talking about, right? There's so much blue, there's so much thickness over here compared to this. And so I think they definitely made a lot of improvements from this, but this really, really does seem to be the base model for this. And you can even tell, like, in terms of the crest, it's not really raised, right? Whereas the Blitzway one, this is very, very prominent and raised up. And so I think they just kind of followed a different standard. This also has the same level of articulation, this kind of bend over here, and this crunch, which is, there's a little tab in there that holds it in place. It's really hard to remove, so I'm not going to do that. But he also has a bendy tail that bends in like that, and so that's pretty wild. This feels like the most premium version. I think it might also be the most expensive version. He's nice. He's really nice. I don't like this, like I mentioned. But he incorporates a lot of the great stuff that Blitzway version has done since this one, basically. And so, yeah, it really just looks like this version incorporating a lot of fixes that the Blitzway version did and just kind of like upgrading a lot of stuff that it did before in the past is what's generating the kind of a design philosophy behind the 3.0 version. Very nice though. But yeah, let's take a look at the arm lion. Like, I don't think I'm going to do another comparison with the leg lion, so I'm not going to look at the yellow one. But let's take a look at one of the arms, and then we'll examine the torso. And yeah, we'll keep going through the review, okay? All right, now we can take a look at the arm lions. I'll move the Blitzway one out of the shot for a second. This is which one is this? Oh, this is the Soul of Chogokin version. Oops, got that mixed up. Yeah. Soul of Chogokin version, like I said, this seems to be the baseline template for the, what is it? For the 3.0 lion. You can even see it, the way they've done the tails is very, very similar with a removable tail that will connect onto that little ball joint over here. Very nice chrome, heavy, a little bit less heavy. I don't know if there's die cast on these legs as compared to like the leg line earlier. Both of them have the same extending like neck gimmick. It's very, very, very similar. They also have a similar like rotation in the same area, but I will say this. This is a lot more pronounced and squarish than this. You can see this is rounder. I know the Red Lions is supposed to be a little squarer. But you can see in the Blitzway version, it's also a little bit more square. And I'm wondering if they needed to do that for the sake of the hiding flaps. They needed a place to put the hinge, you know. I can't really tell. But in terms of like this bit opening up, you're going to see the same thing over here. Mouthwise, I don't know if the Blitzway versions is, or not, excuse me. Oh, yeah, it is. So the little mouth lasers and stuff, they're all like on the same type of hinge and stuff. So again, they're very similar. They're very, very, very similar. Other than the fact that, yeah, like he seems to have more metal, he's heavier, and he's had these like cosmetic upgrades that we see on the Blitzway version. The Blitzway tail actually is quite different. This is the connecting port, and when it's not in use, it's actually supposed to hide in here, but I didn't put it all the way in because in order to get it out, you need a tool, and then the tail will actually fully compress and hide in there. And so now he just kind of looks like a Doberman and stuff. But yeah, also Blitzway, I can't tell if they have metal on them or not, but it does look heavier. It has all those little like flap coverings and stuff like that. And this might have more range of motion in the arm. Yeah, I think it has a double elbow, whereas the other ones don't, but it can afford to do that just because it's so much larger. It also has the telescoping neck that they do as well. But again, I just don't think the Blitzway one is a proper comparison. Really, that we're looking at the SoC version and the SoC version and the 3.0 version. Yeah, more and more I look at it, yeah, I can definitely tell that this was the baseline for this. Yeah, but anyway, let's take a look at the Black Lion. All right, finally we have the Black Lion, and like before, I'm just going to move the Blitzway one out of the way, and we can take a look at the 3.0 version, which is this, and the SoC version, and boy, this is so much heavier, the Solo Chogokin version, than this one. Obviously, it's the die-cast. At this point, I'm not really familiar with where the die-cast is on him, but here, like, dude, homie has it, like, all throughout. These chunky monkeys, these, like, limbs and stuff are all made of die-cast. I think he has some. Or not. I don't know, or it's like a different type of die-cast, a different type of metal or something, but similar to all the commentary that I made about the other limbs, yeah, it's the same thing. The same exact stuff that you're going to find. Oh, you know what? Maybe his waist doesn't collapse down, because this guy's did, right? And then you can pop that out. Yeah, this one doesn't look like it collapses. I could be wrong, but okay. So there's like one difference over there. But for the most part, yeah, like I said, everything is identical. I haven't found any means by which, okay, so the one area which is not really identical is on this one over here, the chest bits, they slide in and is it the chest bit? No, sorry. The top of the shoulder, this bit, that will slide in to lock the legs and the torso in place. He doesn't appear to have any of those. The Blitzway version has it on the red components. You can see those little like tabs over here. And he has that on both sides, but I don't think the 3.0 version has that. It doesn't really take away from it, and the arms weren't like super floppy or anything, but I do think it would have been nice to have a locking mechanism there. The legs are slightly different in that he doesn't have that additional hinge that the Blitzway one does. And so again, the formula seems to be base it off of SoC, but add the upgrades from the Blitzway version. That's really what the general formula seems to be. The Blitzway version is nuts. It's super duper heavy, and there's a ton of detail here. And because it's so large, there's things like the tail folding up that you're not going to get on these guys. And the way the legs connect and stuff is all different and stuff like that. And it's huge, and it's very, very heavy. Similar to the SoC version. But anyway, going back to this guy, the neck and everything, the way it all works is very, very, very similar. Not identical, though, but it is similar. They have improved in my opinion, they have improved some of the gaps and stuff that were apparent in this guy, and also the way the Adam's apple area looked like on this version is a little bit unfinished in my opinion, and they addressed that. And so again, they took the SoC version, improved upon it with some of the areas that they saw in the Blitzway. But I don't know if they developed those improvements on their own or if just it happened in real time, and or I don't really know. Like, I don't want to say that they stole the ideas from Blitzway, because truth be told, I really don't know in terms of sequence when this one came out. I mean, I got it recently, but I don't know really in order of release which one came out first. But I will say that I got this one before this. This I just got recently. He doesn't have like the chromey chrome like these guys do. It's just like gold paint and stuff like that. You can see it's all like shiny over here, right? And same thing for this guy to some extent. But yeah, his is more, I mean, it's still shiny gold, but it's not like chrome. Also, the face is not as long as the SoC version, just by a little bit. It's a little bit snubby, but yeah, not the worst thing in the world. But this guy, the Blitzway version is seriously just in a category all on its own. It's so large that it can afford to do just a lot of things that the other versions can't. Like, the Blitzway version is really, really nice. And I don't know. I don't want to just go too much into that guy just because it's really more about him. And yeah, same range of motion and stuff like that. But again, it's just a modern version of the Soul of Chogokin version, but with some Blitzway upgrades. You know, I was going to go through, maybe I'll just quickly go through the contents of the box and stuff like that, the accessories, and afterwards I'll do the combined mode and we'll just do like a final thoughts thing. Cool. All right, to wrap up the video, once again, this is the 3.0 version, this is the Soul of Chogokin, and this is the Blitzway version. At its core, this is just this, but with some cosmetic upgrades that it took from this, or I don't know if it took it or not, but it has the same stuff. But at its core, it's so much of this, but with less die cast. And I want to say that the plastic quality is also a little bit inferior as well. So if you have this version, I don't know if I would switch this guy out for this. He's plenty good. He's plenty good. And like, some of the lions are actually the same scale, but the legs are not. So that actually makes him a little bit taller, but otherwise they would be pretty similar. It does a couple of things right. Like I said, it's modernized and whatnot, but I don't know, man. I don't know if it's worth replacing this. Now, if you really did want to replace this and you wanted something extra, then definitely would go for the Blitzway version. This is premium, top of the line, top tier, includes all this crazy different types of engineering and stuff like that. And yeah, if you really wanted something different, go for the Blitzway version. But if you have this, I don't really think it's worth swapping that out for that. That's just my take. Your take could be completely different, and that's totally fine. But yeah, as for me, even though it's a really nice toy, I don't think it's worth swapping this dude out. In terms of like 10 out of 10, let's say we're grading on a scale, and let's say Blitzway is 10. Soul of Chogokin, I would probably give, like, even though it's somewhat dated, I would give a solid like 8. And I think he's an 8 as well. He has some pluses and some minuses and stuff, but yeah, he's right at about an 8. Still really good though. And it's cool to see 3.0 mixing it up with transforming figures and stuff like that. But anyway, that's my take. Hope you have enjoyed the video, and I wish everyone a wonderful day. Okay, peace.